for joining me. Today, the title of my episode is called A Rat Park, the Solution for Addiction and Community. Statistics show that anxiety disorders affect 19% of our population. It is my belief that the numbers spiral much higher than that. Just the other day, I invited a new friend to my dinner party, and she had declined because the doctors were adjusting her meds, and she couldn't know how normal she would be feeling on any particular day. And in the same week, a neighboring couple stopped by for a visit, and in the middle of our conversation, the wife jumped up from her seat, rushed outside, and began vomiting over my porch railing and into the bushes. With disbelief, I turned to her husband. "Is she okay?" I asked. He seemed unconcerned and mumbled casually, as if what had happened was a normal occurrence. "It's nothing," he said, "just anxiety." I have lost count of the number of people who have declined a simple invitation to a movie or for a walk out in the neighborhood because they have anxiety. Their refusal comes across as almost casual and accepting, as if they had said, "I can't come because I have brown hair, and it is who I am." The Surgeon General has announced that we are experiencing an epidemic of loneliness and isolation, and it is affecting us as if we were smoking 15 cigarettes a day. And add to that, it also increases the risk of premature death by a whopping 26%. This awareness has led to a culture shift, which often begins with as few as 10 people. These people have had a change not just of their beliefs, but they have had a shift in their values. In other words, they've had a change of heart, a transformation. And in this case, we are slowly beginning to see that not only is the way we are living not working, but that it is deadly if we continue on the path that we are on. To have a quality of life, we must become involved and connect with one another. We are starving for connection. We will not exist without doing so. And throwing money at the problem is not the answer. Research has shown conclusively that we can only save ourselves through community. Community, yes. I know we have lived so long without it that we hardly know how to make it happen. No wonder we feel lost and alone. Two very revealing studies prove my point. You have heard me talk probably about the Harvard's 80-year study called the Happiness Project. Harvard concluded after 80 years of research that the answer to happiness and longevity too is not about a good job, it's not about money, it's not about working out at the gym or diet and taking supplements, and it is certainly not about being a loner. The study concluded that the answer to achieving happiness and longevity is relationships, mature and healthy relationships. The second study, which is much lesser known, is called the 1981 Rat Park Experiment. It explains our relationship to addiction and our need for connection beyond a doubt. During the 60s and 70s, many experiments had been conducted in order to find a solution to the moral and mental disease of addiction. During these studies, they placed rats in solitary, cramped cages and offered them two options. One was water, and the other option was water laced with drugs such as morphine, cocaine, or alcohol. They consistently proved the power of addiction and that drugs are very bad, bad, bad. But in 1981, a psychologist and a researcher named Bruce Alexander came along and looked at the past studies and the isolated conditions that the rats had lived in, and decided who wouldn't want to become an addict living under such conditions. So he constructed an experiment using two groups of rats. One group remained in solitary, cramped cages like the 70s experiments. But the second group of rats, Alexander designed a beautiful rat park and placed 20 to 30 rats in it. These rats enjoyed grass and plants and nooks and crannies to explore and to hide in and wheels to run on. And like the past studies, though, these rats too had the choice between water and water laced with morphine. With unlimited access to drugs, the rats in the rat park consistently chose, guess what? Water. Even the addicted rats that had lived in isolation for over 2 months, when put in the rat park, chose to go through withdrawals and overcome their addiction. Why this profound study has been ignored for so long is a subject for another time. But I say to you that when we become aware that over this past year alone, 50,000 suicides occurred, as well as 100,000 deaths due to drug and alcohol overdoses, then there is no way we can overlook the overwhelming results of these research projects. A cultural shift is necessary and inevitable, and is the only way toward finding community. So let's get out there. Let's find our own rat park. Thank you all for listening. I love you. Please check out my latest podcast called Judy Howard is Making It Happen. And don't miss an episode. Sign up for my email updates on my website, judyhowardpublishing.com. Thanks again, and have a beautiful day in your community.